In our fast-paced society today, it is so easy to overlook self-care, but it is so crucial to prioritize your own self-care because nobody else is going to do that. So we're going to discuss how to master your own self-care. So let's dive in. So, one of the first things is taking care of yourself because no one else is going to take care of you. And, a lot of people are people pleasers, or they're always so worried and concerned about everybody else and all the tasks that they have to accomplish for the day that they forget that they are more important than any task that they're scheduled to do. And a lot of us forget to take care of us. So, I started actually writing it on my calendar, self-care, whether that's an hour or, periodically through the day. And self-care can look like so many different things. Um, One of my things that I love to do is in the evenings after I've worked 8 or 9 hours, whatever. And some of you know I write full time, so I'm at home working and I'm disciplined, but I probably work more hours than I did when I was working full time because I guess because I'm investing in myself and I find that to be just so important. And, that way, instead of investing for a corporation to get rich, I'm investing in myself because it's what I love to do. It's my passion project. So, one of the things that I really enjoy doing at the end of the night, after all the dishes are cleaned up, we've eaten and everything, I love to get into the hot tub, not hot tub, a tub with hot water. And I love to just sit there and either read a book or I do play on my phone. I'll listen to YouTube videos or educational videos or whatever it is I want to do. And I have it down so that I won't drop my phone into the water. But in case you were wondering that. So, but one of the things that I consider self care are taking hot baths and taking time out to just read a book for fun. So I have several authors that I love and, ensure that by reading them might be helping me with my craft, but that's not my intention. My intention is just to relax. And sometimes I'll even just listen to music. So in self-care also in the morning, maybe before I even get up out of bed, I'll close my eyes and just do some intentional breathing and relaxing. Sometimes I'll listen to some music, sometimes I'll meditate. I count that as self-care. And so throughout the day, I do better working in increments of time. So, let's say I work for an hour, then I'll reward myself and I'll get up and not that cleaning the dishes up is or tidying up the kitchen, whatever, is necessarily a reward, but I'm not working and it just gives me that much needed break. As I had mentioned in other videos, I like to take my dog for a walk. That is a reward for me. Sure, it's exercise, but it's still rewarding. And I'm also really a proponent of a healthy work play balance. So a lot of times I'll schedule, even if it's in the workday, if a lunch comes up, like an opportunity. So yesterday I had an opportunity and I drove a couple of hours to be with other writers. And we had a lunch at somebody's house. So it was worth it to me to go drive the 3 hours and 15 minutes to their house because that time with girlfriends is so important. And it was a writing networking type of event too because they're writers. However, we mostly talked and got a tour of her house and we looked around at these amazing photographs and unique pieces of artwork in her house. It was just really interesting and fun. So I count that as some self-care as well. It was kind of combined with, like I said, a networking. Uh, so, I was still kind of working, but I do count that as self-care because it was fun. But what did I do when I came home? I took care of my daughter's horse because I promised that I would. And definitely, as I mentioned in other videos, is really important to do the things that you say you're going to do to build trust. So then when I came home after I ate, I took a very long hot bath and I listened to YouTube videos. I caught up on my social media and I read some. So again, take care of yourself and prioritize you. And sometimes self-care is going to the stylist or the hairdresser, getting my hair cut. I love getting my hair cut. I would rather get my hair cut and feel great over going and buying a new outfit, although that's fun too. But in self-care also for me is going on little mini vacations for the weekend or even the day or going on a week-long trip. I do like to travel sometimes, and while I can't do that all the time, when I do get to do that, I really have a lot of gratitude for that. Also, part of the planning process of going on vacation is also I consider self-care because it's fun. So anything that gives you that fun, excited feeling, you know, I count that as self-care. So, and understanding self-care, is just taking care of you and prioritizing you and having you time over feeling like you have to take care of everybody else. Just check out and, just nurture yourself and nurturing your mind. If some listening to a YouTube video stimulates your mind in a creative way, go for it. If writing on my book stimulates my mind, which it does, and is a creative outlet, I will do that, but I only count it as self-care is if I am, I guess just writing something fun or something as a side note because that is actually my career. So I really count that as work more than self-care, but it just depends. If you're writing for fun or you're writing poetry for fun, that could be self-care if you're allotting time just to do the things that you love to do and it's not your career. So also setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is so important because it's okay to say no. If you don't want to do something and this is your allotted time or this day that you allotted to have off, which would be great to have a whole day, but make sure that you protect that time with everything that you have. Of course, if an emergency comes up, that's a different story. However, if somebody calls and asks you to go run an errand for them, then you can say, um, I have something planned already at that time, but would I be able to do it at 5 o'clock or how about tomorrow? So make sure that you can set boundaries and say no. And that is a skill that is acquired because I kind of experienced that too when mostly with my kids, if they're asking me, "Can you go do this? Can you go do that?" And I always felt obligated to do that, but I'm also getting really good at just setting those boundaries. So make sure you do that. And another thing is caring for your body. And that could look like facial care, where you taking care of it and moisturizing it or your hair, moisturizing it. And it could look like going for the walks for exercise as well as self-care. Just movement is really important. Move, move, move. I got one of the Apple Watches because I can track my movement. And while I'm not making that, an extreme strict priority, as in, like, I have to walk this many steps or the world is just going to crash around me, but it's more a way for me to track when I need to stand up because it warns me, it's time to stand up because when I'm writing and I'm lost in a scene and I might finish that scene so that I don't lose my momentum, but then I will get up and I will go stand at the sink and wash dishes, or I'll go walk around, or I'll listen to some music. Oh, and another thing that's good movement that I find to be so much fun is Zumba. So I go on YouTube and I'll Google or I'll YouTube search Zumba dance routine or fun Zumba dance videos, something like that. And I have certain ones that I've saved that I love to do. And so I'll just bounce around, and a lot of it is in Spanish, but, sometimes they'll have songs that are in English, and I've learned the words, and I'll just sing and dance, and I just make up my own routine. I kick my legs up and my arms, and I hoop and I holler, and I really try to do this when my children aren't sleeping or possibly when they're not even home because they think I'm cringy when I do that. So, whatever, you know, it's good exercise, it's movement, and I consider it exercise, but I'm also kinda considering it self-care because I am prioritizing myself, I'm prioritizing that time, and I feel like it's a blast. So, definitely caring for your body and, you know, discussing like, I wanna talk about sleep. Sleep is crucial. So if you're not getting enough sleep, you can gain weight, you're usually crabby, and your tolerance for people goes way down. So I strive for about 8 hours. I think they actually recommend even 9 hours. Um, I have the luxury of not having to get up to my alarm clock. And if I was a person who overslept all the time and I felt like I had to set my alarm to get up at a reasonable hour, then I would do that. But I naturally wake up around 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, so I don't even set my alarm, and I love that benefit of working from home and working for myself because I can self-regulate and self-monitor my schedule, and I think that's really just awesome. So, I highly recommend 7 or 8 or 9 hours, preferably 8 or 9 hours, and making sure that your room is dark, and I had my dog snores, and she was sleeping in the bed with me, and I realized that I was not getting quality sleep because she was keeping me awake all night snoring, and I kept calling her name or I would nudge her with my foot. And I thought, this is horrible. Why am I doing this to myself? And I actually felt guilty making her get down and go sleeping in her bed, but it was the best thing I did for my sleep. And I even started sleeping with earplugs. And and I have a habit of just sleeping with one earplug because I'm really good at if I turn over, I just automatically switch the ears because I sleep on my side and I don't like the earplug pressing against me. So, whatever works for you, but having, the blinds closed, some people use the night blinds or the blackout blinds or curtains. I don't do that because I love the sun streaming in my window in the morning, but I do close my blinds, and that's probably why I wake up at 6 or 7 in the morning. But to me, that is also self-care because I love having a window where the sun's coming in the morning. That's just great. So, also not having a TV in your room, if you can do that. I do not have a TV in my room. I do not watch TV right before I go to bed because it stimulates my mind. I try not to watch YouTube, but or, might play on my phone, but I am kinda guilty of doing that because I guess I find that exciting or entertaining, and that's part of my self-care. But what I usually do is I place the phone on my little dresser or night table right next to me, and I try not to look at the screen. And, sometimes I recommend to people not even to have their phone in their bedroom, but that is something that I haven't exactly embraced. Sometimes I do, but I also have my children on override and I mute my phone so that the notifications don't wake me up. And I usually actually turn most of my notifications off anyway because I don't like all that popping up on my phone all day. I find it as a distraction. So, anyway, trying to set up your environment so that you can sleep well. And so about an hour beforehand, just kind of chill out. I also try not to drink a lot of water before I go to bed because I don't want to have to get up in the middle of the night and use the restroom. But sometimes that happens, but I really try to set myself up so that I'm not doing that. And in spirituality, I find that to just be part of my self-care, and it can bring me a sense of, fulfillment, and I everybody has their own view on that, so whatever spirituality looks like for you, try to engage in something. And, whether it's meditation or mindful prayer or just listening to quieting music. Sometimes you can stare at a candle flame. I kind of look off to the side because I find that to be too bright for me, but that is kind of meditative. And, I also, when I'm waking up, I love to go sit out on my porch. I have this great screen-in porch that a friend made for me, and I have a door that leads out to it from my room, and I have all my plants out there. I have one of those little wicker love seats and a couple chairs, as well as I have some of those lights that are the white lights that are kinda strung along, and I think that's just very relaxing, and sometimes I'll listen to classical music, or I'll listen to any kinda calming music that, is kinda meditative, and it just puts me in this great mood. And I don't drink coffee really unless it's every once in a while just for fun, kinda as a reward, but I do drink a protein shake every morning, so I often will go sit out on my porch before it gets hot because I live in the South and it's very humid here, and we're already about 86 degrees. So, if I don't get out there by 8 o'clock, by 9, it's almost too hot to sit out there. So I do enjoy going out there and sitting and drinking my protein shake. Also, talking on the phone for me is a reward. I will talk maybe an hour a day on the phone, not all every day, but most days. And I'll use that as my break. Let's say I've been working all day, I've been writing, I've been doing this marketing, programming, whatever it is I'm doing. That would be my kind of my break. So a lot of times, if it's not too hot, I will go sit out on my porch and I'll just chat on the phone for a little bit. But it's all about little rewards along the way throughout your day just to make yourself feel that joy. And we're here to enjoy our lives. We're here to, you know, have fun. And so, yes, a good work play balance is really important. And believe me, I am all about working, I am all about being productive, but I'm also all about playing as well. So, I work as hard as I play, is kind of my joke. So, also, we talked about in the other videos about exploring practices such as gratitude, affirmations, and connecting with nature. So you can combine all those things together by sitting outside and having gratitude about the birds singing and chirping, whatever. Just my plants bring me a lot of joy, so I'll have gratitude for that. And in nature, I have these big, beautiful green leaves and trees around my porch. So, or as I said before, sometimes I take my dog for a walk in the park, and I will listen to my uplifting music, and I will just enjoy listening to that while I'm walking and the sun's peering through the leaves, and I'll have gratitude for the dappled sun and shade on my path. Just look for reasons to feel good, because if you're feeling good, then you're kind of in that flow and you're happy and joyful. But if it's starting to feel bad or your thoughts are going somewhere that don't really feel good, be aware of that and try to switch it around and try to find something that will immediately make you feel good. Because, like I said, we should be enjoying our lives, right? So, uh, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel so that you can find more, videos like this that I'm hoping that will motivate you and inspire you to be your best self and your best version of who you are meant to be. So, also, as I always say, I love comments, so please leave a comment and let me know if any of these tips are helping you. And I will see you next time. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.